Hello, this is Jcamera here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the LEGO Harry Potter set from 2002, numbered 4727, called Aragog in a Dark Forest, released in 2002 for about, I want to say, $20-ish in US currency. The set is based on the scene where Harry and Ron visit the giant spider Aragog in a forest to see who opened the Chamber of Secrets, or any information about the Chamber of Secrets, which is of course based on the film, based on the book, yada yada yada. We know that by this point. Anyway, here are the instructions. We got the usual background, except more foresty than usual, because this is the Forbidden Forest, so there should be extra detail, and it should be different. In fact, this is the only LEGO Harry Potter set within the first few years that was based on the Forbidden Forest, which is, the first set to do so in LEGO Harry Potter. And when it comes to this era of LEGO Harry Potter, of these yellow minifigures, this is the only set to do that. Of course, we got more like 2004 onwards, but for a time, this was it. So, of course, we get the minifigure builds, and then we get the build of Aragog, and then we get the Forbidden Forest, which comes in two builds, which I'll get to later. And as you see, there's a base plate being used in this set. There's no alternate builds on the instructions, but the box does include them, including sort of a Whomping Willow replica. And then we get the LEGO Creator Harry Potter advertisement. This is the Philosopher's Stone one, and from my research, the Chamber of Secrets edition wasn't a thing until 2003. And this set came out in 2002, hence why the Sorcerer's Stone, or Philosopher's Stone, if you're not American, version of the game exists. And of course, we get an advertisement of all the LEGO Harry Potter sets. As of filming this video, I finally got all the sets, because this set I did need to collect a few pieces, because I got it somehow incomplete, which I thought it was complete, but it wasn't. But I had to complete this first before I made this video. I told myself I would not make it until this was complete. And along the way, while I was waiting, I received the orders for all the other sets. So expect reviews for all of those sets very soon. Anyway, we shall take a look at the minifigures. First up is the boy who lived himself, Harry James Potter. This variant of Harry is actually exclusive to the set, wearing a dark blue jumper because it's nighttime. And they didn't have to make an exclusive variant, they could have just recycled any version of Harry, but I really appreciate the attention to detail and just overall dedication with this theme. You can tell there was passion and love and care put into this theme, even with the budget and standards of LEGO not being as high quality as it is today. But for back then, it is really impressive. Like most, if not all, minifigures back then, I think most, maybe there was some, but regardless, this figure doesn't have back torso printing or head printing. It's the same head and hair as usual, no need to bother showing it off. And he has light grey pants, the yellow skin, and the big brown stick as a wand that he uses, or the wand that he uses. And I like that if you really zoom in, you can actually see a bit of like the torso underneath. Maybe this is meant to be sort of like his pajamas underneath, or even one of his other variants. Like the one with the tan legs and like the baggy shirt and everything. It's probably just pajamas, but I still like the attention to detail that they put on this figure. I'll admit I am kind of hyping this figure up. I just want to go into detail about the figure and thoughts. The second figure in the set is Ron Weasley. He too comes in an exclusive variant, which again they didn't have to do, but I'm glad they did. They probably did need to do it much more with Ron though, because he's only got two minifigures outside of this. His obvious main one with the Hogwarts Gryffindor robes, and then he's got one casual version in blue, which I don't even recall seeing in the movies or reading in the books. Maybe concept art had it, I don't know, but still, it is pretty cool to get this version, and I would actually argue it was necessary because we needed more Ron variants. Harry had a lot of variants, Ron had very few, and this is an outfit that was seen in the movies, so that's pretty cool. Obviously, he has the same head and hair as usual. The camera really doesn't want to pick up on his freckles. And he has the earth orange hair, which is a retired color. He has no back printing to speak of. And he has the dark grey legs and black torso of dark grey printing and sort of a bronzish torso color. I don't know if it's meant to be skin or not. I'm just going to assume it's regular clothes, but still it looks cool. And he has the light grey stick as his wand. And that's all for minifigures in this set. So next up we get to the builds. The first up is Aragog the Giant Spider, Hagrid's pet. And it certainly is a Lego build. If you've seen any video on this set, especially like a review or more critical for on this set, you'll hear that people do not like this build. Like, it's not a well-liked set. I personally like it more than most because I like the scale of this spider. It looks huge, like it should. And it actually does move a fair bit. Like, its sort of abdomen, or like, I remember that spiders have like two parts, whatever, like the borax and the abdomen or whatever. That's pretty cool, that can move. You got the pincer mouth, you get the eyes with the red there, and you get these really long legs, and you can move them, like you get these bigger ones at the back, and then these smaller ones up front. But yeah, I'd be lying if I said I didn't understand why people hated it, because it definitely shows its age, and it's very much under-detailed, even for 2002 standards. Like, it's creepy enough. Like, if you were to give this to someone with arachnophobia at night and pose it correctly, this may actually scare them. But otherwise, it's a little goofy looking as well. Like, the eyes definitely don't help. And posing it isn't too great. Like, you have to get it in a specific position to do anything with it. And the color choices are very odd as well. Like, I get it, black is scary, but why is gray here? Like, why not use brown? Or like, I know dark brown wasn't a color that really existed back then, but it really should have existed just for this, because it doesn't look especially intimidating. And like, I know Aragog is old because like in the Half-Blood Prince he dies of age or whatever, and Chamber of Secrets is only like 4 years before, so it makes sense he's like really old. But even with that, like, you can come up with reasons of this, but even in mind, it doesn't change the fact that this hasn't aged very well, even for this theme standards. And though it's cool to get Aragog, and in fact, we needed him for this theme because he was an integral part to Chamber of Secrets, but they could have done a better job translating this giant arachnid. The main thing that keeps this one alive to me is the size. He's bigger than most of the Aragogs that we've had now, and he should be relatively big. I think they got the scale right. It's just the details and colors and even like maneuverability is not very impressive. But there are nice things I can say about it, so it's not fully negative. Then we move on to the Forbidden Forest itself, which is split into two parts. We get this sort of tree here. So you get these branches. In fact, these branch pieces here, these black pieces, are the reason I took so long making this video, because I needed to order these before making this. You get these 3 trees here. I wish this was much taller, but I get it. It's a $20 set. There's only so much you can do with $20 with size and scale. But even with that in mind, I wish it was bigger, because the forest should be really large. And, like, I want it to somewhat cover up Aragog, or at the very least, it could sort of complement him, and I guess it somewhat does it, but I don't know, I kind of just wish there was more. And this is on a hinge piece, revealing a tan owl, which, I don't know, maybe Aragog and his children was going to eat this owl or something, but they just needed a secret for a secret. Which is cool, because you want to make the set exciting for little kids buying the set. I get that. That's something that today's sets don't have as much, but I'm not going to get into that conversation. There's like a little leaf there and everything, and there's a good mix of brown and black, which is sort of what maybe they should have done with Aragog, but he probably would have blended too well. Maybe that's why he's grey and black instead of brown and black, but this also has the green, but no, I don't know, it's fine. It's very blocky looking, but for 2002, that's kind of par for the course. And then we get the main part of the set being this lair for Aragog, which is also part of the forest, and sort of like a trap for anyone who goes in. So up here, we get this dark grey owl, we get these leaves, like a couple different variations. Okay, there's only really this one piece as far as I see, but still. You get these tiny little trees. Another problem with this set, this part needs to be bigger. Like, this is sort of a side build, this is the main build. Maybe not Aragog as much, but still. And this is made with a base plate piece. A 16 by 16 base plate, which is actually smaller than Aragog, as you can see by the legs. I mean, the smaller legs only barely match the size of this plate, but still. In terms of width, it's actually about the same. So, yeah, Aragog is that big. He's bigger than the forest, or on par with it, which is actually impressive. But anyway, you get a lot of spider pieces. Like, you got some really small spiders here. And then, moving these 3 dark grey webs, you have these 2 tile pieces with different spider variations. One of my prints is very thick in ink, and the other one is very thin in ink, which is quite funny to me. And no, those are not any of pieces that I had to replace. It's mostly just the branches, and I think one of these, like, brown holder pieces here, but that's it. Anyway, we have these webs, which include these black spiders. I'm glad they didn't do any supernatural, although they very well could have. In fact, how many spiders are in this set if we exclude Aragog? We got 2 average spiders, and then we got 8. We got, I think, 10 or so spiders from my count. Like, I'm looking all over this set. I count 12 spiders, with 10 of them being pretty small. And this is the only web that doesn't include a spider. And this tree here didn't include any either. So, like, this can be the big trap where you have, like, let's have Ron here and Harry here. And then you can have, like, Aragog talking to Harry and such when Harry interrogates him. And then you can just have this as sort of a backdrop. Maybe this is where Aragog comes out of, I don't know. And then you can have, like, these implode on these 2 characters. And if you notice, around these webs is a little rope piece, which is for a mechanism. But, so, when you pull this out, you can trap these in. You can't really do it as well because of how I put Ron in the webs, but my point still stands. And then when you put it back in, you can just do whatever you want with these webs. You have more freedom. And if you see me do it again, yeah, it works a little better this time. And in this compartment, you see some stolen gold here. Maybe these spiders stole gold from Hogwarts, or like loose change from students or teachers, or I don't know, maybe some goblins or people brought in money when they went to the Forbidden Forest and then got robbed or mugged by these spiders. Just thinking of a spider mugging someone with a gun is kind of funny to me, but I don't know, maybe they could have done that. This is a feature that doesn't really make sense. There's no mention of gold in the Forbidden Forest, but I guess I wouldn't put it past them. Maybe in like the Lego games, you could say this is like studs, some sort of mini kit thing, or red brick. I don't think the levels in Lego Harry Potter years 1 through 4 had bricks, but still, it's the 4 that counts, and I guess thinking outside the box a little bit, but there you have it. That concludes my... Actually, no, it does not conclude. I have one more thing. If you see the edges here, you can kind of like put the tree here or something. I don't know if the set really tells you to, but that's what I do because it saves up room, and in my opinion, it makes the forest look a little more intimidating and complete. But yeah, that concludes the in-depth, detailed look at the set. In my opinion, this is definitely not the best set of the wave. In fact, if I'm really comparing my thoughts with the 10 sets released for Chamber of Secrets, it's probably not one of the better ones, maybe even one of the weaker ones, but I still don't think it's a bad set. It has a lot of value with the 2 minifigures, and like the play features are nice enough, and I think the forest is pretty colourful, and the spider pieces are cool, and the scale and size of it in terms of width and everything with the spider. But I do have problems with the set, like the actual forest is very short, it's not very tall, and obviously it's blocky, and Aragog, come on, that's a mess, other than the size. Like, he's very blocky and under-detailed, and the colors just don't look that right, and he's not that great to move around, but I still want to try and be positive with this set review, but anyway, there you have it. That concludes my review of this set. The next review is going to be the Quidditch practice set. So if you see right here, this is the very next one. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all later.